Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to today's event. I'm Jason Gumper from MSDynamicsWorld.com, and I'm really pleased to be able to welcome you all to a session all about document challenges and customer engagement with Dynamics 365. Our speaker today is Eric Batangan. It's great to have him back with us. And as we get started, please know that we do plan to make time for questions, and you can enter yours at any point. Just look for the Q&A box. You should see to the right of the main presentation area. So without any further delay, Eric, I'm going to hand things off to you to get started.
Thanks, Jason, and thanks to MS Dynamics World for hosting. Welcome, and thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. As Jason said, my name is Eric Batangan. I'm the channel manager here at ExpertDoc, and I will walk you through a few slides to describe the main document challenges that I see. For those who aren't familiar with ExpertDoc, we are a Microsoft Gold partner located in Montreal, Canada. And I'm proud to say one of Canada's fastest growing companies, according to Profit 500 magazine. ExpertDoc is a company that is 100% focused on document generation and customer communication technology. We're a Microsoft shop that leverages Microsoft Office, Dynamics, and Azure to bring best-of-breed technology to help you solve all document challenges, big or small. Today, we will look at some common challenges and ways to address them. I will also walk you through a demo to help bring this all together. Here's an interesting number I came across. 21% of productivity is robbed due to document challenges. Now, let's just jump into it and see how we can help reduce that number. So when it comes to document challenges, I have 6 that come up often. I will actually describe them using a real use case where all 6 of these challenges were requirements from a single company. So how do I access data from multiple entities? Can my data drive the outcome of my document? How can I include graphs, tables, charts? How can I include data outside of Dynamics? And what can be done to improve corporate efficiencies, kind of tying back to that 21% productivity number from before. And finally, can I remove template design from IT? So let me expand a bit on these challenges. The company that will help me elaborate on this is a large manufacturer, and we'll call them Peak Manufacturing. Peak has complex products and services, and they came to us to help generate very sophisticated sales proposals. So Peak uses a CPQ, Experlogix to be exact, to help configure their products that are needed in these proposals. So depending on what is configured, data from other entities may be pulled into the document. And they can be standard or custom with various relationships. So previously, they would have to manually add the data, which was slow and error prone. Using ExpertDoc and our CRM connector gave them the ability to see all fields at all entities in CRM. The second challenge is creating data-driven documents. What I mean here is the document can change based on the data coming from Dynamics. For Peak, the solution is deployed in different countries, so language comes into play here. For example, a province like Quebec in Canada, where I'm located right now, a document can be in French or English, and this could change based on the customer's preference. Also, terms and conditions may differ from state to state. Even product info, product images, etc. can change depending on what's in the proposal. So ExpertDoc allows for advanced conditional logic at the template level, even nested logic. So when the document is rendered, the data drives what the final proposal will look like. The third one, we were asked to include images, so images of the property and products that were being purchased or being included in that proposal. We even have companies that would like us to personalize their proposals, so using images that represent the industry they're selling into. So if it's a hospital, pictures of hospitals would appear throughout the proposal. Logic can also be applied for images and multimedia. So, if there is an image to insert, do so. If there isn't, perhaps we substitute that with text or simply clean up the white space. I actually have a cool example which I'll pull up here. Here's an example of one of our customers that wanted to include 3D renderings in their proposal. So as I go through, we'll see standard stuff that we'd see in a proposal, but we'd also have the ability to include a 3D render. I'm not sure how well this will show up on WebEx, but I'm able to manipulate the product to see from whatever angle I'd like, minimize, and make it grow a bit bigger depending on whatever I want to do, and manipulate the 3D rendering myself. Pretty cool stuff. The fourth one would be to include data outside of Dynamics. So Peak Manufacturing uses SharePoint as a final repository and database for images, logos, and what we need to do is be able to push and pull back into SharePoint. Some other companies like to pull data from an ERP. Something Peak wanted from us was to have the ability to add additional information at runtime, stuff that doesn't exist in CRM and perhaps doesn't need to be stored in CRM. For example, a personal message from the rep to be included in the proposal, for example. Also the ability to expand on default text, so information that exists in CRM, populate the document, but perhaps the sales rep has the ability to expand on that information. So what we would do is lock down sections of the document, and through our smart form within Dynamics, expose certain sections that can be modified, and if modified, backfill and update the CRM. So improve corporate efficiencies. So how can we improve the sales team's productivity, make their job more streamlined, keep them in Dynamics, reduce the number of clicks to produce a proposal, and minimize the number of applications needed to perform their tasks? We help Peak accomplish this by building in, at a template level, the logic to render a concise proposal with no manual modifications. On top of that, we have partnerships with solutions that naturally extend what we do and truly simplify the end-to-end workflows. But the cherry on top is the unlimited post-actions. So post-actions are things that could happen after a document has been created. So you create this proposal. What do you want to do with it from that point? Create a PDF, put it in notes within Dynamics, maybe a copy in SharePoint, send it for e-signature, email your manager, maybe all of the above. So we're able to stack as many of these actions as needed, being triggered from Dynamics from a single click. Removing design from IT. Not only removing template design from IT, but a tool that would make almost any business user in the company a designer. Peak was using SSRS, but they didn't have the flexibility, scalability, desired look, ease of use, or automation that they would have liked. So Microsoft Word as a designer, everyone's familiar. SSRS is a great tool for reporting. When looking for a solution to create more attractive documents, proposals, letters, and more, SSRS isn't that flexible. So now let's look at the components that make up the ExpertDoc solution and how they relate to these challenges. We look at the life cycle of a document in 3 stages: design, manage, and distribute. When you talk about design, we have different tools. So tools to help design, tools to design what we call our smart forms, a technology that's used to collect and validate data. We even have a tool to help simplify the process to create and review a set of templates and forms before putting them into production. Our designer is Microsoft Word, making it easy for everyone to use. And our smart form plays an important role, especially within this peak performance use case. It's a flexible tool to collect data, but an easy way for business users to interact with ExpertDoc from within Dynamics. And you'll see that in the demo. We have a great example of a company called Group Health that use our smart forms for employee onboarding. So after this webinar, feel free to go back to the ExpertDoc website and look up in our video section for that Group Health webinar if you're interested to learn more about how people are using our smart form technology out there. In Manage, you'll find Template Manager and Content Manager. The Template Manager is the brains of the ExpertDoc solution, taking requests to generate documents, interpreting the business rules, and pulling all the data from Dynamics, Content Manager, or external sources. The Template Manager can also call more advanced tools, like our Visual and Content Auditor, to compare a set of documents if needed. Now the challenge is leveraging data from wherever it resides. So pulling data from Dynamics and perhaps combining that with data from other systems to create meaningful documents and understanding all the business rules to follow whatever process is needed once that document has been created. And getting that document to your customer the way they want to receive it. Now, that was a quick overview of the components that make up ExpertDoc, but let's jump into the demo. Now, this is a simple demo, and you'll see 3 roles here. So you'll see what it's like to design a template, generate a proposal like you would as a sales rep within Dynamics, and then from a customer's perspective, what it's like to receive a document. And in this case, I'll do an e-signature workflow, have the customer sign it, and bring it back into Dynamics. So let me flip to our designer. You should be seeing in front of you Microsoft Word with a sample template. As I mentioned earlier, Microsoft Word is our template designer. We simply add this ExpertDoc ribbon to expose additional features and functionality to help you design templates. Now let's take a look at a couple of these buttons in the ribbon here. The convert button is interesting to note. So any company that has Word documents today that are using them for their templates can easily convert those Word documents into an ExpertDoc template to be used within the ExpertDoc solution. We also have a U.S. patent on a migration tool, so any legacy templates that you have, we'd be able to convert that into an ExpertDoc template also. When we talk about leveraging information from wherever it resides, within data sources, you're able to add any new connections for this template to pull information from. And once you've done that, you're able to see here within the fields all the data sources and all the fields within those data sources. So in this case, we're connected to an XML file, which is going to be a payload coming off smart form within Dynamics, and we'll see that when we switch to the next role. And then also our demo CRM environment. You can also see that we're able to, as I mentioned, was one of the challenges, inserting images and charts. So you can do that here, and you see that there are some blue areas here that indicate where an image would go. And best practice is to bring images in at runtime versus embedding them into a template. So if logos change, images change, product images, you only update the file in the content manager and not at each and every template. So managing templates a bit easier. Seems like common sense, but not so common when you go out in the field. And same could be said for sub-documents. So sub-documents, something like terms and conditions that you would add at the end of a proposal, perhaps. We like to treat them like we did with images. So sections of text that rarely change have a master document, and at render, get the latest and greatest attached each time. And to the customer, it'll look like one fluid document, obviously. Inserting subtemplates. So similar to sub-documents, a sub-template would be this template with dynamic information calling another template with dynamic information. And again, combining those two templates into one single document. So if the document is a sub-document is being called, bring it in. If it's not, then it'll exist. This single document would exist alone. And of course, before going into production, you'd like to test. So locally, you'd be able to preview what you've been working on as a designer before making that available in a test environment or dev environment, or pushing it to production right away. So let me flip to Dynamics. So what we're looking at here is out of the box Dynamics 365. I'm in a quote entity. What we do within the ExpertDoc solution and the ExpertDoc CRM connector is expose our SmartForm technology within an iframe in Dynamics. So from the role as a salesperson, sales rep, sales director, I'm working in Dynamics, relatively transparent, and I'm even interacting with ExpertDoc. This SmartForm here gives us the ability to do bidirectional workflows. So pull information from Dynamics, interact with third-party applications, and you'll see here, like we will with eSign Live for e-signature. Allow us to push to SharePoint, but then also if there's any changes in a review and an approval process, we're able to, do a compare and bring back the deltas into Dynamics if there's an update to be done in CRM. So this SmartForm we're looking at here can be as easy, basic, or sophisticated as you need it to be. For demo purposes, I'm requesting some information, but really a lot of this stuff can be pulled directly from CRM in a real-life scenario. So if I was a salesperson, I'd have the ability to select the different types of templates that I have available to me. In this case, I have one. Here I'm asking for what industry am I selling into. So let's put hospital, and I'm going to go ahead and enter my name and email address so that we could see the full round trip of what we're trying to do here. When I talked about post actions, what we call document post actions, these are things that you want to have done once the document has been created. Here we have a pull down of different post actions. Again, in a real life scenario, we would pre-configure whatever workflows are needed and put that behind a single click behind this execute button. But for demo purposes, we could actually run through each and every one of these. And in this case, I'll just go ahead and select eSign Live. We have the option to select written or typed. In this case, I'll do written because I have a touch device here. I'll go ahead and execute that. So what's going on right now is we're compiling the information needed to render this proposal. We're creating the PDF for it. We're applying all the information needed by eSign Live to go ahead and put the document through a signing ceremony. And from a sales rep's perspective, I'm done. I've created my proposal. I've sent it out. We brought up a sample here of what it looks like, what the document went out. We also, within notes, put a copy of that there. And I'm off, as a sales rep, I'm off producing a new quote, staying in Dynamics. So if we switch roles and I go into my Outlook, now I'm looking at my Outlook as a customer or client who's receiving this proposal. Here I received a new email. Go ahead and open up the document. I'm being taken to the eSign Live platform. This is a consent form. eSign Live is great. They allow you to white label, so the branding could be Peak Manufacturing here. The language here could be Peak Manufacturing. Go back to the email. Even the email, all this stuff could be white labeled to look and feel like the customer, like the Peak Manufacturing's branding. So let's go back to the consent form. Let's accept that. Now I'm being taken to the document. I go ahead and review, apply to sign. And from a customer's perspective, I received an email, signed the document, and I'm done. I will receive a copy of the fully executed document for my records. And if I go back to Dynamics, as a sales rep, I'm able to check the status of documents that went out for signature. I see that it's been complete. I'm able to go back to the quote, go ahead and check my notes. The final completed document is put there, and we're able to put that anywhere where the customer would like or where you would like. So it could be in notes within Dynamics, they could be put in your SharePoint, and then trigger any downstream workflows once the fully executed document has come in. So to summarize what you just saw here, we saw 3 roles. One as the template designer, really individuals that have the ability to create, modify, change templates. Typically very few people within an organization. Then we saw another role as the salesperson. I never left Dynamics, so the goal is to keep your salespeople in Dynamics, minimize the number of applications they have to open, minimize the number of clicks they have to do to send out proposals. As you saw, there was no save to desktop, attached to an email, email the customer. All that is done within Dynamics. And as the customer, I received a proposal by email, opened it in my email, signed it, and received a final copy of that. Let's go back to my slides. Now, on top of the challenges that we talked about a few slides ago, I see customers with these indicators who can benefit from a powerful CCM or customer communication management solution like ExpertDoc. Some key indicators that stand out for me are companies that want to take advantage of e-application or e-onboarding for data ingest, um, minimizing manual error-prone data collection, right? So truly looking to have a digital transformation from end to end. And addressing omni-channel distribution would probably be my number 7 document challenge. So companies who are looking to easily convert documents into multiple formats to go out over multiple channels, again, based on customer profiles, right? A single document that could go out by SMS, email, push to web, send to print, right? Those type of scenarios. And from a technical aspect, what stands out to me is the challenge of leveraging data anywhere. Companies are consolidating systems and can appreciate a flexible document generation solution that connects to all core systems on-prem or in the cloud, or a combination of that, right? Really accomplishing more from a single click, partnering with companies that really extend our solution, like e-signature and secure online distribution. I'm sure a lot of you listening have document challenges, and when the time comes for you to address them, ExpertDoc is the partner for you, and I'll be here when you need me. So here's my contact information, and I hope that this was helpful, and I'd love to hear from you if you have any questions or comments. Jason?
All right. Well, thank you, Eric. And we would like to take some questions now. If you haven't entered yours yet, look for the Q&A block to the right of the main presentation area, as I said earlier, and we'll get to as many as we have time for here. So the first question, Eric, what's involved with CPQ integration?
Yes, great question. So as I mentioned, the company I was referring to was leveraging Experlogix as the CPQ. And in that scenario, we didn't have an integration we don't need to have the integration to the CPQ or Experlogix, because in both cases, for us and for Experlogix, we're integrating into Dynamics. So the CPQ configures the products needed for a proposal. That goes into the code entity within Dynamics, and then we leverage the data once that process has been complete to create those proposals needed.
Okay, we have a question about licensing approach and costs. I think they're just asking generally, what can you say about those?
Yep. So it really depends on the deployment. So our solution is the same solution on-prem or in the cloud. So whether you're hosting in the cloud yourself, in a private cloud, or you'd like us to host it, there's different considerations there. But to boil it down, we look at it from the number of ExpertDoc instances needed, which typically mirror that of Dynamics 365 CRM. And then it's really around the users. So how many designers do you need, and then how many business users need the ability to trigger the creation of those documents.
All right, great. And this person did indicate that cloud is what they're really interested in. So thanks for that question. How technical do users have to be to design or edit templates?
Great question. The advantage of using Microsoft Word as a designer, everyone knows it. For basic templates, anyone with some knowledge of Microsoft Word can create a template. It's when you want to get really sophisticated, then you need a little bit more advanced users. But we expose C# within our designer. So novice user or advanced users, it's the same tool. And again, leveraging Microsoft Word as a designer, we take advantage of all the investments that Microsoft puts into Office every year, right? So as things improve with Word, that naturally comes down to our designer, and that's immediately available to customers as that's available within Office.
And what versions of Word or other Office applications are needed?
We work with all supported Word versions out there.
All right. Why don't I make a final? I'll make a final call for questions here. I think we have one more in the queue. So someone's just asking if there's a maximum number of templates or documents that can be stored in the portal.
Quick answer is no limitation. It'll actually depend on, again, how it's deployed, if it's on-prem or cloud, and the database limitations you have there. But if that's unlimited or there's no real limit to that, then the number of templates, final render documents, multimedia assets that are needed to be included in documents is no limit.
And do you have any experience saving documents to Azure Storage blobs?
I don't have information on that, but if we have the name of the person who asked that question, I could definitely find out and get back to you personally.
Okay. Yep. We can make that connection for you. And let me see here. Can you give any sense of time to implement?
So the great thing about our solution is really, when it comes to Dynamics, is that CRM connector. That's out of the box with our solution. So implementation is relatively quick. So it's really understanding the number of documents that you need, the types of documents. So what's the use case around those documents, and then training the team for design. But we could also take on that design aspect for you if needed.
So just to follow up on that one, is it primarily configuration that's required to implement?
It's really just yes. So we're easily connecting to Dynamics and other sources if needed. It's just understanding the field requirements, mapping that back to Expertdoc. So it's some configuration that's needed, and that's it.
Great. Well, we appear to be at the end of our question queue here, so we'll begin wrapping up. I want to remind folks there is a very quick survey that will appear as you close out today. If you could give any feedback there about your experience, we always appreciate it. Our speakers always appreciate that too. So Eric, thank you so much for taking the time today.
No, thank you. And thanks everyone for tuning in today.
All right. We did record today's event as well. We'll be sharing details on that soon also. With that, we're going to conclude today's event. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.